Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
I would clean that bone about as good as anything.
Matt Hayes.
The guys they had last year, terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
Mama know that when you get to camp, you ain't gonna see a lot of Big Daddy.
How you like me now?
We are getting to camp. There is no question about it. Tomorrow is when it all goes down. Veterans reporting today. As a matter of fact, as you look at the NFL map all over these United States, you have got players reporting across the board. Welcome in a Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. We are fired up and ready to go because we got to look at everything, including all the big training camp battles like Cam Robinson and Walker Little, the ones we were talking about yesterday. But I tell you what, fellas, as we get rolling, we're going to have to talk about Tyson Campbell and that cash because he got paid. Coach Campo's hanging out with us in the 2 o'clock hour. Welcome in, Coach. You ready to rock and roll?
Absolutely. It's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, it got me fired up, the SEC meetings, listening to the coaches and players. But this is a real deal now. Tomorrow gets it going, and I think there's a lot of excitement in the city and definitely with us.
Oh, I know all of Duval's pumped, sirs.
Hey, listen, I can tell you people what y'all missed it earlier in the conference meeting. Coach with the tutorial on the whiteboard this morning, telling us about breaking down the coverages and playing bunches and all that. I could tell the excitement I could tell by the way he was talking. He was getting excited.
It's Christmas Eve. Man.
Oh, he's ready to go.
It's Christmas Eve right now. There's no doubt about it.
100% fired up.
The long and arduous offseason has passed officially.
And by the way, it flew by in a lot of ways. It really did. And the little mini break that the guys had, some of them stuck around, stayed here, kept working out, and the other ones at least got a little time to decompress. But here we go. So, speaking of Christmas Eve, someone got a lot of money in their stocking named Tyson Campbell. Let's begin XL Primetime there with a pretty hefty contract, Leon. And the strategy is, do you pay them before you feel like they've realized their full potential? Because it's going to be expensive on the other side of it if you don't. What do you think about this big old contract?
When I did the math, the combination of Trevor, Josh Allen, and Tyson Campbell, you're talking about $490 million in contract money. That's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I always say you got to feed the family first.
Yes.
Those are the guys that you picked, you drafted, you developed. Now, have they lived up to the potential? At times. Not enough times. But, Tyson Campbell had a good 2022, 2023, had the hamstring injury. Kind of hindered him a little bit down the stretch.
Yeah.
Trevor, the same thing, So, but yeah, you pay the guys who you think is your future moving forward.
Yeah, and I love subscribing to the theory: if you draft well and you develop good players, you reward them with contracts. Yeah. That's the best thing you can do is keep players happy than have to go pay another guy to come in and fix a problem that you weren't able to fix by having the right guy there. But we are looking at Matt. 24 years of age, $76.5 million in the contract, guaranteed 53, and an average of $19.1 million per year. And the one number or the one note that sticks out, the highest annual pay for any cornerback yet to be named to a Pro Bowl.
So, yes, thank you, RJ.
Cha-ching.
I hate to be the guy that, once again has to be the voice of reality here, but you're talking about a guy who didn't play well in his rookie season. I think we could all agree to that, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't turn his hand around, couldn't find the ball. Second year, by the end of his he struggled early. By the end of his second year was terrific. Was one of the best young corners in the league, right?
Mm-hmm. Third
year, we have no idea what happened. He's injured half the season, misses 8 games. You're paying that dude $70 million?
Yeah, that's a lot of cash. And by the way,
look, I think potentially, Joe, potentially he could be a good player.
Yeah.
A good / all pro player, okay? But that's a lot of money to throw out at potential for a guy who missed 8 games last year, who in one season, his first year, was lost.
Yeah, look, I can't help it but think and sit there and go, okay, you want to pay a guy and reward him, but this guy, I still feel like has to prove some stuff.
Well, I mean, him and Trevor in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
Potential.
Exactly.
Trevor, he's shown flashes of greatness, but we haven't seen him as more consistent. Same thing with Tyson Campbell. He's right. I believe his rookie year, he wouldn't turn his head to save his life, and then he had flashes of greatness. So, the Jaguars right now, they're rolling the dice on these guys, right? You know, they're rolling the dice. They're ponying up the cash on potential greatness.
They are. So that makes me think, because they did the same thing with Devon Hamilton last year, which was a kind of an odd signing as well, okay? That makes me think, are they signing these guys because they want to say, hey, we've got draft picks that are now onto their second deals?
You never know. Look, Trent Baalke's trying to prove that his resume is better than,
yes,
than the other
of course.
GMs
That's
that
kind of
failed.
my point. Yeah.
But at the same time, you still see promise and playmaking ability in Devon and in Tyson Campbell, obviously in Trevor. Of the four we're talking about, Josh Allen's the one who went out and got his, okay, because he performed. He deserved it. He led the league. And I said to Coach, we were doing Campo and Joe earlier on Facebook Live, and the podcast will come out in just a little bit so you guys can check it out. But Josh got paid because he earned it. Trevor got paid because it's the most important position in sports, and you don't want to let him go. That's why he got paid.
Correct.
And now this guy got paid because you think you might be able to get him for, let's just say, 75 cents on the dollar compared to what it may be next year.
Well, we don't know why he got, the conspiracy theorists sometimes put one deal on it, but I'm a firm believer, the same thing I said about Trevor Lawrence, we don't see him. We see him 17 times during the season.
Right.
Whereas those guys over in the building see him every day. If all I know is a football coach in the National Football League and being around guys that got second contracts and all that kind of stuff, anytime you deal with a guy money-wise, whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency, whether it's your own guys, you are gambling. There's no guarantees on any of it. But what you are doing is, for example, and I made this statement in the podcast, I think Doug Peterson knows, for example, and you could throw Trent Baalke into this. The way the season ended last year, there's a little bit of concern. They're a little bit on notice by the owner. We've got to show promise here, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's declared, I know what's wrong. I'm going to fix it on offense. That means he's put a lot of confidence in Ryan Nielsen. Now, when Ryan Nielsen came in here, I lived Ryan Nielsen. I was a coordinator in the league. And with guys we had with the Cowboys, I had say in who fit my scheme. And I believe that there was some of that in this with the idea of he's shown the ability at times to be able to be a franchise guy. If he's got the right makeup and he's smart, then those are the kind of guys that can continue to develop. And I think the decision was made between he and the other corner that just got let go, that this guy fits my scheme. And I think that that's part of it.
Yeah. And you find guys that you think are on the ascent, age is right, ability, they haven't hit their ceiling yet, all those types of things definitely matter. And again, that's what we want you guys to let us know. And we'll set up an X poll. Is he worth it? Is he getting the money he deserves, or does he still have a lot to prove? RJ, you can set that up, and we can put that out on X. But then also hit the text line, jump in on YouTube. You can hit the MyBookie Digital Studios, enter the chat there. But we would love just a very simple question. Tyson Campbell, $76.5 million, worth it or not? And give us a reason either for or against. Let's hit this one.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, you can't say Billy Napier doesn't churn out first-round draft picks out of the University of Florida. Back-to-back years he's had first-rounders. But Adam Schefter is reporting 49ers first-round pick Ricky Pearsall injuring his hamstring and will open training camp on the pup. That's no bueno. You want a guy, I don't care who you are, Leon, a veteran trying to keep his job, veteran trying to make sure he has a roster spot, or a rookie. You don't want to start out with being on the pup
list. Especially a hamstring. You remember what Coach Johnson used to say about hamstring, Coach? If you pull a hamstring, that means you ain't come in shape.
Exactly.
I remember those little sayings, bro. I tried my best not to pull a hamstring.
Yeah, exactly. And one other wide receiver that was drafted in the first round, former Gator, is moving positions. So we'll talk about him coming up in just a bit. But I just want to stay on Tyson Campbell here for a second. You guys, like we said, just hit us either on social, in the YouTube chat, or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, just as far as the amount of money. Has he done enough? Has he proven himself? Or do you feel like he's got nothing but up and he's going to be good? So 2022, this is PFF, and you know how this goes. These are numbers. You can take them or leave them. But he had 58 solo tackles, which had him among the top 20 in the National Football League. Also top 15 performance was he had 82 targets, and he surrendered 48 catches. So pretty good numbers. He had 3 picks in 2022. And we all said that once he started turning his head around, things started to change and he became a much better player. So those were productive numbers. But if you go back to this last year, and as we said, if you miss half the season, your numbers are going to go way down. 48 solo tackles outside the top 40 in the league. He had 60 targets with 42 catches. That's concerning. That means over 2 out of 3 that were thrown to a receiver that he was responsible for, the closest defender to him, they made the catch, and he only had 1 interception. And so if you're starting to add up cornerbacks in the National Football League, where is Tyson Campbell?
Well, I mean, it seems like the organization is rewarding potential instead of productivity, except for Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
All right? They're basing it on potential. They're saying if all things were equal, if they were healthy, this or that, they could live up to those expectations. And, you know, that's gambling again, like you said, Coach. That's gambling. You know, you're putting your money, you're writing that paycheck on somebody's potential and not productivity. This is a performance-based league. And so you gambling when you do stuff like that. But this also, I think, factors in what Matt was saying. You know, second-year, you know, guys you draft and getting second contracts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
it's just difficult. I know that's like people say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. It's difficult considering the history of the poor drafts for this franchise and the history of the poor general manager decisions by this franchise to not at least attempt to look at that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To not at least think, all right, well, Devon Hamilton it wasn't exactly crushing people his first couple years. He got a nice extension. And by nice, I mean a nice extension. Yeah. Tyson Campbell, we've already laid out what he's done his first 3 years. He got a $70 million deal.
Yeah, well, the one negative for what Devon went through is he got a deal and then he was hurt. And so you don't even know whether he was able to live up to it as soon as he got the deal.
But the fact that he got it without really any kind of season where you're like, okay, that's production.
Yeah, agreed. All I'm simply saying is that it wasn't an over-the-top deal at the time, and it's more affordable now. The whole logic is that the salary cap's going up exponentially each year, and if you can get guys signed and sealed, you're going to continue to put yourself in a decent situation. Even with these contracts, they're still in the top half in terms of available cap space going into next year.
Yeah, and the thing with Campbell is, you know, really, in all honesty, he's a better man corner than he is a zone corner.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you're just sitting back there in zone, you might have more opportunities for interceptions. But as far as locking guys down, I think they're going to have more of an opportunity to do that this year. And listen, I love looking at the guy. I know that. When I'm on the field, watching him run around, I'm thinking to myself, boy, this is the kind of guy I want to coach. You know, and again, you know, some of it is a gamble. There's no question about it. And I just think that in this day and age with cap situations and money and all that stuff, you got to strike when it's hot sometimes and take a gamble. And I think that's what they're doing. I think Leon's right. I think you're right, though. It's a gamble. But and Leon said it. They're paying for what they think the guy's going to become,
right?
More so than what he has shown. And you know, a lot of people have done that.
Yeah, you really have to boil it down to. Do you feel like injury really got in the way of his performance level last year? And when you have a healthy one, and again, that's always with your fingers crossed, because any of these guys can get hurt on any play. But by and large, the percentages are in your favor that you're going to have a healthy guy versus an injury guy. That's just the way it works.
And also, with Devon Hamilton, I would have given him an extension. I mean, he might not have looked, you know, like a great player, but I thought he earned the extension. I mean, when he played early, he has power, he has strength, He's a big guy.
Yeah.
As far as what they need going forward, does he give them that opportunity to do that? And I think he does.
All right, we'll keep it going on that. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, they bring you today's show. We say thanks to them. You can log on beaverchevrolet.com, Beaver Toyota, staugustine.com. They're always handing out great deals, and they are there to wow you. They will make sure they take care of you, and if you need a ride, you're looking, let us know. I'll be glad to help you with it anyway, anyhow. You can definitely check out both of those dealerships. We're going to say hello to Chris Mad Dog Russo coming up in about 15, 20 minutes, but you guys are more than welcome to join in. Let us know what you're thinking about the Tyson Campbell deal, and how hyped are you for training?
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Ever wonder how Dan and Jeff got hired at 1010XL?
About a talk show host. I think I'd be good at that.
The Drill.
I talk to people all the time.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Someone even told me once they thought I'd be a good talk show host.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of people.
Mornings on 1010XL. Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician, Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Establishing a regular sleeping pattern is crucial for your well-being. This includes going to bed at roughly the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning. You may even consider turning off all electronic devices an hour before bedtime. Ever wonder why you can't fall asleep after staring at your phone right before bed? Studies show that the light from your phone actually decreases melatonin production, therefore causing disruptions to your sleep throughout the night. Get some rest before the big game. Go Jags.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
It's the Big One sales event going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Buy a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla for just $1,000 down and $288 per month. Or you choose a pre-owned 2020 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $1,000 down and $388 per month. Arlington Pre-Owned has over 400 used cars in stock and more than 100 vehicles under $18K. And you even get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. Shop the Big One sales event, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes Summers here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Prosser here. As you may or may not know by now, I did the research and decided to go with Jack's Concrete Coatings for my garage floor. OMG, as the kids would say. I can't begin to tell you how good it looks, how happy we are. We brag on it anytime someone walks in the garage. They had the job finished in one day with a lifetime warranty. That's right. As the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, the only company offering pure polyurea, I can't wait to do my patio deck next. Call 862-2000. That's the number, 862-2000, or jacksconcretecoatings.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
The happiest guy to hear that sound is Coach Campbell. He loves
taking care of the old man.
Yeah, exactly. And RJ knows what he's doing, making sure he puts a big old smile on Coach Campbell's face. He puts a smile on our face, that's for sure. And he's channeling a little Frankie Valley, little Jersey boys back in the day. All right, 641-1010. It is XL Primetime. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can go to YouTube real easy and just punch in 1010XL or XL Primetime, and you can watch us on the stream, and you can definitely offer up comments there or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, so just a few thoughts coming out as far as those that are listening. Balky is doubling down on his guys. Can't blame him. Others saying we're spending a lot of money on average players. Another saying, plus they're getting ahead of Sauce and Surtain, which is fair to point out because those guys, Sauce, when he gets his deal, and Pat Surtain, they're regarded as the top two corners in the National Football League right now. You might throw one or two other guys up there, but the bottom line is it's going to get costly. And if you're paying this cat $19 million, you immediately say to yourself, well, wait a minute, Surtain and Sauce, those are Pro Bowlers. Yeah. Those are guys who have done their thing. Tyson Campbell, another texter, is good money. I put him, let me make sure I understand this one right. I put him over, I take him over any other professional or any other free agent on the market. He's a good Jaguar. We got to keep him. Look, I don't mind. You interacted with him when you did the throwback jersey. Yeah. I like Tyson Campbell.
I like the kid. I mean, he's tall, he's athletic, runs well, absolutely, he's smart, understands coverages, and knows how to play wide receivers, absolutely. He has tremendous upside. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess nowadays that's what we're paying for.
Sure.
We're paying for upside, I'd just like to see a little bit more. Now injury-ridden, I'd like to see a little bit more productivity, so that's my only knock on it. The kid's got upside. He doesn't have a ceiling right now. He's got upside, and I just got to see more of it this year, that's all.
Let me roll through a few of these guys. Trent McDuffie, off the bus, good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kansas City does.
Yeah.
They immediately, as soon as they identify a guy, they draft well and they coach well. And that's on the other side of the ball. Not Andy Reid getting all the credit. That's Steve Spagnuolo, coach, who I know you know very well.
Right.
So Trent McDuffie's regarded as one of the top cats. Sauce Gardner being the guy right now that is considered the best. Charvarius Ward, another guy, San Francisco, immediately played well. Surtain, we already mentioned him. You start going down the line. Jalen Johnson in Chicago earned himself a deal because he played very, very well. When you go back to this last year, big time. Jalen still playing at a fairly high level. Jair, when he was healthy up in Green Bay, definitely made some plays. And so you start going down the line, and you got to figure out exactly where you're going to put Tyson Campbell. He has the potential to move up and be among the top 12 corners.
Yeah, he has the potential to be a Pro Bowl corner, just like Matt said. You know, I mean, that's there because he's big, fast, smart, just like Leon just said. Long arms.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I saw him. I introduced myself to him last year at training camp, and I said, man, if I had you, we'd have won a couple of more Super Bowls. You know, I like the looks of guys. You know, that's part of it. But I also know that being smart and tough and that kind of thing, he's got those. So we'll see.
All right, RJ, if you don't mind, will you give me another that, please?
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fan Cam has got a big old pot of chili, and I think I might even have to figure out a way to tweet this bad boy out. He sent it on the text line, and we're talking about just an unbelievable combination of flavor, a little heat, and we're talking the 5-gallon pot. He ain't playing. He's ready to serve it up to everybody tomorrow. And so Fan Cam just wanted to let us know that the pot is on the stove. There's flame underneath it, Leon. And
bro,
he's
I
cooking
can't
up some
sweat
chili.
any more than I'm going to sweat when I get out there.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
It's the 29th annual habanero chili breakfast. There's nothing that says Fan Cam more than chili breakfast. And it's tomorrow, 8 a.m. to noon, right outside of the Mecca. And the way Fan Cam's always said it, to demonstrate the commitment of Jaguar fans as training camp kicks off in the Florida sun, the Fan Cam is again serving free 13 sausage, chili, and jasmine rice for breakfast. Round of applause for Fan Cam as he's getting everybody fired up for training camp as it begins tomorrow. That's for sure, man. Cannot wait. And yeah, he'll have it out there early. That's for sure. All right, so when you're thinking about a Campbell and Allen, you mentioned the number. It was around a half bill, including T-Law.
$490 million, bro.
And the money is there. If you want to give Trent Baalke credit for one thing, you have to give him credit for, at the very least, right now, identifying guys that he feels like he can get under contract and work with the salary cap the way it is right now. And that's the best news because they're not sitting there strapped as far as their salary cap is concerned. That's for sure. He doesn't even say anything. All he does is just smile over there.
No, look. I'm
just
saying
trying to tee you up.
You are. I understand paying Trevor.
Yeah.
Trevor is clearly.
But Trevor's one of the biggest question marks.
He
in
is,
this
but
whole thing.
it's the position that demands it. So I understand that. That position demands it. I just think now the other two guys in the last 2 years that they've signed to extensions are. I don't see how you couldn't see a question mark with both of them. Both Devon Hamilton and Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Tyson Campbell won't be a good player. I think before the season began last year, I thought he was going to be one of the best corners in the league. He just struggled, and then he got hurt, and then he couldn't get on the field. So you're banking on what you believe he will be.
Right.
Instead of, okay, we've seen 3 years of this dude ascending more and more with each season. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad decision. I'm just saying it's interesting how, you're extending guys, and they're guys you drafted, and the history of this franchise is guys don't make it to the second contract because they're drafted so poorly. So are these guys worth the money, or are they just doing this to show that, we're drafting well because these guys are going to second contracts?
Right, but look, let's be real here. If you're a general manager, you're not just saying, I'm going to draft guys and then give them big money just to show that they're getting second years.
Right. You're exactly right. You are exactly right. There's no doubt about that. They do. But they also have to have some kind of performance on the field where you're like, all right, clearly this guy's ascending. Right. Clearly this guy can play in this league. Now, they may believe those guys can. That's fine. That's fine.
Are we not looking at Tyson Campbell in that vein?
We are. We just haven't seen it. That's all.
Well, wait a minute. We just got through saying we
saw
did.
it for about 8 games, I think. 8 to 10 games.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out why Trevor gets a pass.
Just because the position demands it. It's the quarterback, and that's
the hell with that. The hell with that. Trevor's in the same floating.
All right, that's Searcy now saying that. Okay, so y'all can jump on me all you want, but that was Searcy saying that about 275.
Hey, absolutely.
Quarterback, pass rusher,
yeah,
corner, left tackle.
Yeah.
If you get
just
one that
play
you
the whole.
think,
Why don't you just say the whole damn team at this point?
Help you and win. Pay the man.
Okay, so you've said quarterback, pass rusher, left tackle, corner. Anyone else? There's only like 3 or 4 more positions to go.
Those are the important ones.
Yeah, no, that's it right there.
Those are the important ones.
You know what this is? This is a coach who says, I want, and the GM saying, well, you can't have, and you can't have.
Yeah. And by the way, for what it's worth, if you go back, the Devon Hamilton decision was not a balky draft pick. It was a balky GM contract extension because he did not have him under – he didn't draft him. He came in the year after as far as being in charge. All right, we'll keep this conversation going as we keep it rolling right here on XL Primetime. We're going to say hello to Chris Mad Dog Rooster, who actually has Jacksonville ties if you go way back. We will do that coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Gators. Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Up-to-the-minute updates, instant reaction from Gainesville, plus the same 1010XL Gators podcast you've grown to know. And check out 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 23rd, 1925, baseball legend New York Yankee Lou Gehrig hits his first of 23 career Grand Slams.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Catch all the interviews and analysis of this year's ACC kickoff.
Sold out crowd, Doak Campbell Stadium.
Coverage on 1010XL is brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local Union 234, and Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
1010XL breaks down training camp all day. Listen for camp news with analysis and insight from the practice feed. Everything counts! 1010XL's training camp coverage is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Thinning or balding hair? Introducing Scalp Micropigmentation now at IHRS. SMP is a procedure for men and women, looks like your own growing hair, and corrects thinning areas. SMP is perfect for men and women who shave their head and want a full head of hair look. Call IHRS now, 904-777-IHRS, 904-777-4477, or visit hairforme.com today.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Whenever we say this guy had something to do with the beginning of sports radio as we currently know it today, and it goes all the way back to the 80s, we ain't lying. That's for sure. Chris Mad Dog Russo joins us on XL Primetime. Mad Dog, welcome in. How are you?
Good to be with you guys. The four of you there. And Jacksonville, remember, I worked there in 1983 with the old USFL. Lindy Infani as their head coach. What the heck was the team? The Jacksonville Bulls. With Larry Zonka and everything else. So Jacksonville's got a nice place in my heart back 40-something years ago. How about that, 1983?
I do love it. You got to tell the story because I knew Lindy very well and his wife. Anyway, great people with the Jacksonville Bulls in the USFL back in the day. But then I also read the story where you drove a Gremlin. Am I right? A Gremlin from New York to Jacksonville
that
to
is
sell
correct.
for the Suns?
Yep. The job that I ended up getting, guys, was after I graduated from Rollins College in Florida the previous May, was in Orlando. Rollins was the Jacksonville Suns AA baseball
with Peter
selling.
Yeah.
With Bobby Bragan. Yeah, Bobby Bragan Jr. I think it was Bobby Bragan. Maybe it was Peter. I thought it was.
Yeah,
I
Pedro,
know it was one of Bragan's kids.
Yeah, Pedro.
Peter. Okay,
Jr.
and I worked there, and I got let go after 6 weeks. And the job that I ended up getting was at an old daytime radio station on University Boulevard called WEXI, 1280 AM. And I worked at WEXI. It was a dawn-to-dusk station. So once I got there in March, April, we were on at 8 o'clock at night during the week. And then once it got dark out, we lost our 2-hour, 3-hour show. And so I ended up going to work for Jay Solomon. You guys remember him?
Of course.
The voice of JU, and I worked with him for about 3 or 4 months, maybe more, about 5 months, and then I ended up in Orlando. But in that period there, I got to know Wenzel well. Bob Wenzel, the head coach of Jacksonville. Yeah. I got to know all the Bulls things well. Plus the NASL team was there too, the Jacksonville team. So
that's cool.
They were there. They had moved. I'm sorry, they had moved to Washington. But Florida Georgia games, the cocktail hour, the Shriners Parade, you name it, I did it in Jacksonville between January of '83 and March of '84, about 14 months.
That's a
14 months.
That's a hell of a full life, Chris.
Yeah.
So you obviously then are a gigantic Jags fan, then, correct?
Well, listen, I've always I know the Jaguars and Coughlin pretty well. My child, who is 22 and just graduated Wisconsin, is a big sports fan. Believe it or not, don't ask me why, he loves the Jaguars.
Huh?
I mean, he follows the draft. He knows, I took him to Jaguars-Giants a couple of years ago with Bortles, the opening game. I mean, he went to Jaguars-Lions at Ford Field when he was 13 years old. He's a huge Jaguar fan. And so I follow them through him. And it's funny, every time I bet him for them to win because of him, I lose. Every time I bet against them because I think it's not going to win that week, they win. So, I mean, I get killed left and right. So I'm going to leave Jacksonville alone this year. Hopefully Trevor Lawrence plays a little better, and they don't collapse after they were 8-3 in 2024 or 23 and have a better season. And Lawrence is one of the nicest guys, as you guys know.
Yeah.
One of the nicest guys in the world. He's a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah, I want to segue on that. What's your impression of Trevor? Is he? What does he need to do to become an elite quarterback that we're looking for?
Leon, you're better than me, better than that than me. Yes, last year was very disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
The year before he played, obviously, that terrible first half against the Chargers. He played very well after that. He played well in that Chief game, too. That Chief game in Kansas City, he played well in that game. He got off to a decent start last year, but he was not good at the end of the year. I know he was banged up. I know he got hurt a lot. I understand all that. But, I mean, listen, we got to be fair. He got paid all the money. Everybody gets paid. They're going to pay Love. They're going to pay Prescott. He got paid all that money. He has to jump, I would think, into the top 10 of quarterbacks in the NFL. And right now he is not there because that 9th or 10th guy is probably a Prescott, maybe a Cousins. He is not there. And I think if I'm a Jaguar fan, we got to push him into that level. Now, I know you're going to say, well, who are the top 10? We know Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
We know Allen. We certainly know, Lamar's in that top 10. I think Herbert is in that top 10. I think Stafford's still in that top 10. I'm going to put Rodgers there in that top 10. I think he's going to be healthy for the Jets. I think Goff has earned his spot in that top 10 because, he's been to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship game. So and then you still got Cousins and Prescott, and that's kind of where he is right now. I think C.J. Stroud might be in that top 10, believe it or not. So I think this is a very, very big year for listen, it's not a big year because he got paid. He's going to be the quarterback. But he has not been great yet. I think it's time now for him to get to that next level. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, I think both he and Coach Peterson are feeling that pressure. We're talking with Mad Dog Russo. You've seen him on First Take many, many, many times. Of course, WFAN way back in the day at Sirius XM as well with Mad Dog Radio. So talk about a tough decision, Chris, when you think of Jordan Love seeing one really, really good year versus Trevor 3 years and some turnover problems. Heck, man, trying to figure out which of those guys gets paid for either one of these GMs is not an easy decision.
100%. It's about the market. It's about the position. It's almost not about, how good you are. I mean, look, Prescott's going to make $55 million, and then if he's a free agent and make more than that, does anybody think that Dak Prescott is worth 1/4 of your salary cap? I mean, listen, Prescott's is a good quarterback, but he has not been a big-time quarterback in postseason play. Love, he's had 1 year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go crazy because first year they made the playoffs. He did beat Dallas. Let's give him credit there. But against the 49ers, the last 4 drives of the game, he was 5 for 9, 36 yards, 2 picks. When that game, they should have won that game. Mm-hmm. He played terribly when that game was there to be won. Balls up in the air. He didn't play well at all. That would worry me a little bit. But the Packers are going to pay him. They drafted him. They pushed Rodgers out the door. They're going to have to keep their fingers crossed and pay him. Prescott is the same way. You have to pay the position because the position – Joe Burrow, by the way, is another guy I forgot in the top 10. You have to pay the position because the position is that valuable because if you don't have a good quarterback, you cannot win. Ask the Giants with Daniel Jones. If you don't have a good quarterback to win consistently in the NFL, Dave, you know this better than anybody, it's impossible. You have to have it's the most important position in professional sport. And, these franchises, it's when you become a free agent and where you are in the pecking order. And right now, basically Love and Prescott are up next, and they're going to get $50 million a year, and they haven't earned it, but you got to give it to them because if you don't, who's going to be your quarterback down the road? It's very, very difficult. That's why it's important to get the young quarterback who's not paid a lot of money, Purdy, Russell Wilson in the old days with Seattle, Kaepernick. That's when you really can have a very good team because the quarterback's not due to make a lot of money, and he's good enough to win a championship, and you can spread that money around. That's what you really would like to have more than anything else. Stroud is a perfect example with Houston.
Chris, this is Dave Campo from Connecticut. What I want to
Good
know,
job, Dave. Really, from Connecticut. Good for you.
Listen. What I want to know is what the heck is going on with our Yankees?
Oh, I know, Dave. I'll give you a couple things. First off, no Stanton. I never thought I'd say this, but the Yankees miss Stanton's presence in the lineup. That's number one. Number two, their closer is a great guy, and he's competitive. He doesn't miss bats. So he's pitched about 34 innings. He's given up like 34 hits. That's hard to win that way because, a guy hits the bloop in the game and you lose the game. That's number two. Number three, their offense, outside of the big two and then maybe Stanton, stinks. Torres, a terrible year. LeMahieu, 180. They don't get a lot of production out of their catcher. Volpe's been awful. So that's number three. And then number four, a lot of their starting pitching, which was great early in the year. Cortez has been awful. Stroman's come back to earth. Rodon, you can never count on. So they got problems there. Listen, they make the playoffs, Dave, and in that case, anything can happen. But the Yankees right now are not a championship team. The two best teams in baseball, to me, at the moment, are the Orioles and the Phillies. Now, the Orioles need pitching. Phillies could use a little bullpen help. But those are the two best teams, top to bottom, I think, right now in the sport. Those two.
All right, Mad Dog, leave us with this because you had a spirited debate conversation with Stephen A. this morning on First Take. I don't know whether I like John Harbaugh coming out and saying Lamar Jackson's going to go down in history as the greatest ever, and you definitely chimed in on that. That's a big talking point up there in Baltimore.
Yeah, Harbaugh's, the only thing I have a problem, Dave, and you guys, Leon, with Harbaugh, he spends too much time defending Lamar Jackson. How about Harbaugh come out today and say, listen, the guy, we love him. He's been a great warrior. But let's be honest. We and he have to play a little better in the playoffs because he's been a bad playoff performer. We can't say that. We got to go out there now and say he can be the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Has he heard of Johnny Unitas? Has he heard of Montana? Brady? I mean, come on. Brady's got 7. Montana's got 4. Unitas defined the position. How about Otto Graham, John? Have you heard of him? 10 straight championship.
How about Pat Mahomes?
I mean, my goodness gracious. And listen, I know he's won the MVP twice, but he has been a very mediocre postseason quarterback. And that's what that position requires, your quarterback in January to win some games for you. And he has not done that. Let's be fair. And until he does, I don't want to hear about Zay Flowers fumbling at the goal line. I don't want to hear about any of that nonsense. The quarterback for that team has underachieved in postseason play. And until he wins big games on a consistent basis, there's going to be some doubts about him no matter what John Harbaugh says.
All right, before you go, you got it. Big Search, will you host Chris and his son if he comes down for a Jaguar game?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. Will you do that?
Yes, I would.
You will do that?
For sure.
Okay, because my son just got a job at ESPN West Palm, where he's going to do some talk shows, and he is going to that opener in Miami on that Bright Line train at 1 o'clock when they play the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And we looked, it's about 250 miles from West Palm. He will come up for a game. So when I get that organized, I will track you guys down, and you can help him. How's that sound? Does that sound good?
Awesome.
Perfect.
Sounds great. Sounds great. I'll give him a Searcy jersey as well. What size he wear?
He used to love the running. He used to love Leonard Fournette. Oh, did he love him? Size for him would be, he's about 6'1". He's solidly built, medium. You don't have to go crazy. Medium.
All right, you got it.
Good sport. Good, Leon. I'm going to tell him I was on with you today, and he'll be into it. And what is can the Jaguars win 10 games?
I'm betting on 11. I do think it's, look, they've been stuck on 9 last 2 seasons, even though they were totally different outcomes at the end. But heck, yes, I think they can get to 10.
And how is their schedule? I haven't looked at it that carefully. I know Miami early. How's their schedule?
It ain't easy. They only play a couple of games early at home. You get that Miami game. You get Cleveland coming into town with a really, really good defense. And then obviously Buffalo on Monday night. There's some tough ones early, Mad Dog.
Wow. They got Cleveland and Buffalo weeks 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a little tricky. Are they playing back-to-back in London again?
Yeah, back-to-back Patriots and Bears.
All right, they can win both those games.
Yeah.
They should definitely beat the Patriots. They should stink. Should win both those games. Yeah, that division's going to be better, though. Houston's pretty good. Richardson's back. And Tennessee will be improved. That division will be a little better than you think, that AFC South. Really will.
It's got to be a fist fight against Houston to get back what Duval hopes is theirs again. Listen, Mad Dog, we really appreciate it, man. Anytime, and please stay in touch and let us know when you're bringing the youngster up, and we'll definitely get together.
You got it. I appreciate you guys having me on. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chris.
So back in the late 80s, they started it all, and then the powers that be.
We'll get Mac Dog in studio, too, man,
when
it comes down.
Yeah, it would be awesome. All right, RJ, good job getting him on. And the Jacksonville ties, when you drive a Gremlin, I don't know how far that is, but when you go from Duval to the Big Apple and the Gremlin.
I can tell you this right now. Pedro
Yeah.
will know all about Chris Russo.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have stories about Chris Russo.
Well, it is funny because it kind of took me back down memory
He doesn't
lane.
forget anybody.
Pedro's brought him up to me before, and Peter Bragan Jr. we're talking about, owner of the Jacksonville Suns, and I have to remind myself of the stories, and so I'm sure that I'll have to ask him but he'll remember it. But he was doing sales for them, might have even been doing a little bit of play-by-play, and then he said he walked in.
Did he say he was fired 6 weeks later?
Just beautiful. Good stuff, good memories, that's for sure. But when you think of the evolution of sports talk radio, Jacksonville at the time in 1991 was the first of 9 radio stations across the country to go 24/7 sports, and nobody thought it was possible. He mentioned Jay Solomon, and Jay Solomon's one of the guys I always give credit to. He knew what was up, and he knew that it would be a sellable format that people would love, and here we are, still kicking it today. As we go into the 3 o'clock hour, I do feel like, that little melancholy thought when you think of Jay Solomon. I got to bring up Mark Carnival real fast, I love Mark. He was one of my dear friends, and I'll just tell all of you this. He loved Jacksonville. He was a guy who moved here through the game of golf. He was a proud Carnival. In his family was so many people that were involved in sports and accomplished great things, either as an athletics director, as a coach, just so many different things that he learned from his dad. And he will be missed. And the fact that we had him on Friday, and he texted me a picture from Talby Island in Scotland 2 weeks ago. This was after the Genesis Scottish Open. And he texted me a picture of where he was at. And I just think to myself that at that time, he saw a little slice of golf heaven.
Yeah.
He really did. And he said hello from Tralee, Ireland. And then he had moved from Scotland over to Ireland to enjoy. And it's just like a good life ended far too early. And he will be loved and missed.
Always smiling, always happy.
Yep,
always happy.
Hug your loved ones, people, because you just never know.
Makes you appreciate life each and every moment.
Yeah.
That's why I just try to stay in the now.
Yeah, exactly. Hug the ones you love. Hang with the people that you care about most. That's for sure. Rest in peace, and we love you, Mark Carnival.
Absolutely.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. She doesn't cook and she doesn't clean.
Disqualified.
But she sure knows sports.
Move over, Rover. This chick is taking over.
Mia O'Brien.
I'm so excited to be here.
On Helmets and Heels from noon to 2 on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the